Welcome to our Education, Health and Care Plan Needs Assessment request video. We will explain how to submit a parental request in this video. So, first of all, we'll explain what a needs assessment request is, then how parents and carers can request it, and a bit more about Milton Keynes SEND information, advice and support service. So, an education, health and care plan needs assessment is a detailed look at the special educational needs of a child or young person and the support they may need in order to learn. The purpose of the assessment process is to establish whether an education, health and care plan is needed and to identify their detailed needs across education, health and social care. So who can ask for an EHC needs assessment? The child's parent or carer, and we can support with that application. A young person over the age of 16 but under the age of 25 can ask for an EHC needs assessment, and again we can support them. Or a person acting on behalf of a school or post-16 institution, and this should ideally be with the knowledge and agreement of the parent or young person where possible. So the SEND Code of Practice 2015, Chapter 9 explains the legal guidelines asking for an EHC needs assessment. So how does a parent or carer ask for a needs assessment? This is the template letter, and we'll go through this in detail. But do make sure you let the school or college know that you're asking for a needs assessment, because they'll need to prepare their paperwork for the local authority so that they can see what's been happening at school or college. So we'll now go through in detail the letter, the model letter by EHCP, and explain how you can complete it. So this is the template letter from EHCP, and we'll go through this in detail so you know what to put in all the different sections. So at the top of the letter, you need to type in your address, your telephone number, and your email address. And the letter will be sent to Caroline Marriott, who is the head of delivery for SEN and disability at Milton Keynes Council. And once you're happy with the letter, you can email it to the address EHCP at. Insert the date into your letter and then put the child or young person's name and their date of birth. So this letter is asking for an assessment of their education, health and social care needs under section 36 of the Children and Families Act 2014. So fill in their name and the school or college that they're attending, or if they're not, then you need to put home education or not at school at the moment. So the test the local authority must apply when they're considering this request has two parts, and that's in section 36 of the Children and Families Act. So the first part of the test is whether the child or young person has or may have special educational needs. So they may have a diagnosis, and you may have told the school or college, and so they'll have been identified as having special educational needs. So fill in their name and the name of the school or college, and list any identified SEN. That could be autism or dyslexia or dyspraxia, or it could be that they've not yet been diagnosed or identified as having SEN, in which case you would fill in, we feel that the child's name has or may have special educational needs. And we're going to talk about some reasons why you think they may have special educational needs. There may be evidence from school, there may be some school reports, there may be evidence of exclusions, They may have some support in school, but you still haven't got a diagnosis and you're still not quite sure. But certain things at school lead you to think that they may have SEN. And in this section, it's really important to put some information about school, but also information about home. That might be things that you've noticed, some of their behaviour, things they find difficult. So really trying to put a whole picture of what the child's like at home and at school and their difficulties with learning. So as much information as possible, any specialist reports, and at the end you can send any diagnosis letters or specialist reports with your letter. And that could be a letter from a teacher or a parent or a grandparent or a tutor, all the evidence that leads you to think your child may have special educational needs. So part 2 of the test is that it may be necessary for special educational provision to be made for the child through issuing an EHC plan. And here you need to talk about your reasons for believing that the school or college may not be able to make the provision required to meet the child or young person's needs. So in this section, you're going to list any reasons you think that your child or young person may need specialist support. They might be struggling in the class and need some one-to-one support. They might be finding maths difficult. They might have a problem with handwriting or listening or taking turns. And the school will provide information about what's happening at school, but you may have noticed at home that they're struggling in certain areas. So put as much information as possible in the letter. And then once you've finished the letter, at the bottom, put your name. And if it's a young person and you're helping them, put the name of the young person as well. And then if you'd like to send your letter to us, then we can look through it with you and see if you need to add a bit more information. And then when you're happy with it, you can email it to the SEN team. Okay, so once you've finished your letter and you're happy with it, you can email it or post it to the SEN team along with all your evidence. And the best thing to do is to scan in your documents and send copies, or you can use your phone to scan in documents, or you can send copies through the post. Or if you've got them on email, you could email them. But remember to keep a copy of your letter and keep the original diagnosis letters. So within a couple of weeks, you'll hear back from the SEN team, and they'll send you some paperwork to complete just to make sure they've got information about all the services that were involved with you, whether that's speech and language or any other services like paediatricians or CAMS that are involved. And your letter will get a reply within 6 weeks as to whether the local authority is going to do an EHC Needs Assessment or not, and we can support you through the process. So this page has some useful resources, more information about our service on our website, and lots of interesting fact sheets. The Milton Keynes Council website local offer page, which has lots of information about courses and activities for parents and the processes for the local authority and the SEN team. EHCP, which produces the model letter that we've used, and that has more information about EHC Needs Assessments. And Contact has lots of advice and information for families, all sorts of information about special educational needs. A bit more information about Milton Keynes SEND Information, Advice and Support Service. We're independent, impartial and confidential, and we're a statutory service. And the SEND Code of Practice defines the support we offer for education, health and social care. So we can support you by listening to your concerns, give you advice about special educational needs and disabilities. We can support you with education, health and care plan needs assessment paperwork. and we have individual casework, so we can work with you and meet with you and advise you through the process. We can support you to arrange disagreement resolution meetings if necessary, and we support in mediation and in tribunals if necessary. We can also offer information on the complaints procedure. And to find more information, have a look at our website and click on the link to do a referral form to our service. We also have a Facebook page which has lots of information about local events and activities. I hope you found this video useful. If you need any further advice or you've got any other questions or queries, then please contact us by email or telephone. The details are below, and there's lots of useful information on our website. Thank you.